Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about stasis weapons. What are some of the best ones that you should be considering taking into the Edge of Fate? And also, what are some of the mods that are coming in the Artifact for next season that are going to be helping out all your stasis weapons as well as your stasis builds? So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already, as well as follow me on Twitch. I've been streaming a lot, so I'd love to see you over there. And now let's get into it. And first, let's start by taking a look at some of these stasis mods that are coming next season. So let's start these mods off with one with the Frost. While Frost Armor is active, stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability, and the stasis swords will gain increased scar resistance. This is one of those mods that just kind of makes your weapons feel better. So a lot of them are going to be like Frost Armor specific, but since Frost Armor is such an easy thing to get on stasis, it's basically something that's going to be on all the time. The second one's gonna be Fever and Chill, and if you guys watched the solar weapon video, then you guys may remember this mod, and the stasis version of this mod will make it so rapid precision hits with stasis weapons give you frost armor. So even if you don't have anything in your class that gives the frost armor, just using a stasis weapon and getting some precision hits will give you that frost armor. So they're making getting this frost armor even easier. After that, we're gonna have Frost Renewal. While you have frost armor, taking critical damage, release a burst that freezes nearby combatants, and also grants frost armor to you and also your allies. I think this with a good melee build or a glaive build is basically gonna make you unkillable. So I definitely really like this one, but it's not gonna work with every build. You pretty much have to be like on a close range build, because if your shields get broken or you're like in the back of the map, it essentially just does nothing. After that, we're gonna have Elemental Daze. Stunning a champion with an elemental weapon creates an elemental aligned explosion, applying a matching elemental debuff to them and nearby targets. Now this one, I think is one that's gonna be good with pretty much everything, but specifically with stasis, I think this is gonna be really strong, mostly because slow is just such a good debuff to put on enemies. A lot of them just gonna stand there, and whenever you slow them, they're pretty much just marked for death, as well as stunning some champions with the slow. So it either helps you slow or freeze a little faster, and I think it's gonna be really good, especially with any sort of like chocolate weapon. I think this plus a Tanishas is gonna go crazy next season. We're also gonna have Shield Crush. Whenever you have frost armor, your melee will recharge faster, and you will also deal increased damage with your melee. This again gonna be really good with the melee builds, and the stasis melee builds next season may actually go crazy, especially on Prismatic. I think Prismatic is really gonna go just off with all these melee builds with tons of survivability, tons of freezing, even more damage with your melee. It just looks like the melee builds are really gonna go crazy, or maybe even the glaive builds. I think the heavy glaive, the stasis heavy glaive, is gonna do some insane things next season. And the last mod, and also the best one, is gonna be the Frigid Glare. While frost armor is active, a stasis precision final blows cause combatants to release the freezing burst. So as long as you just get a precision kill, you're gonna freeze everything around, which is just insane. It's just insane the amount of like freezing you're gonna be able to get out there as long as you use hit a precision hit. This with any weapon that basically has an easy time hitting some crits is gonna make it so you just keep freezing everything just over and over and over again. It's gonna be fantastic. I cannot wait to use this mod. You really are gonna be able to just freeze the whole battlefield and basically use shatter and constantly slow everything. But now, let's move on and actually talk about some of the best weapons that you definitely want to keep in your inventory for these mods. And the first weapon that we gotta start off with has to be the Stasis Mastery, the Stasis Rocket Sidearm. There's a reason why this weapon is currently the most popular weapon in the game, and I really think that it's still gonna continue to be one of the most popular weapons, if not the most popular weapon in the game in Edge of Fate. Just having a rocket sidearm that has tons of ammo, does lots of damage, it can roll with chill clips, so it can stun overloads and unstoppables just by itself without requiring a mod. It's just super strong. The freeze and the slow is super strong, so when you put that on an already strong type of weapon, it's not really surprising that this is the most popular weapon in the game. Now, you are not able to get this weapon anymore by the time that you watch this video. The final Iron Banner use ended, and it will not be back all the way to September. So hopefully you guys got a Tanishas with chill clip. As long as you have chill clip, it's gonna be good no matter what the other perk is. As long as you have a Tanishas with chill clip, you're in a pretty good spot, and this weapon will continue to be just really good for a long time. Either to a choke clip or the sidearm, or both of them get nerfed. I think that this weapon is just gonna be one of those weapons that's always gonna be good. After that, we're gonna have the Winterbite, the exotic heavy glaive. Now, you saw a bunch of the things that we have in the artifact are melee focus. We also know that the glaives are gonna be getting some big buffs with Edge of Fate, and also this thing just does a ton of damage already. So it's basically used the perfect storm to make the Winterbite even better, even crazier, and have just insane survivability, insane damage, and this thing is just going to be all over the place. The Winterbite, this is going to be such a good weapon. If you guys haven't gotten your hands on the Winterbite, I definitely recommend that you do the quest. I predict that the Winterbite is probably going to be one of the most used exotics next season. It's already being pretty heavily used this season with the glaive mods, and with everything that's happening with the stasis and the glaive updates, there's no way that this thing is not just like super cracked next season. And while we're already talking about glaives, might as well mention the other stasis glaive, the Rake Angle. Now you can get this one from the GMs, so if you guys haven't gotten one of these, I definitely recommend that you go out there and get one with chill clip. This again, gonna be just like with the heavy glaive, they're gonna be getting lots of buffs, it's gonna have some really good synergy with the Stasis Mods, and overall it's just gonna be really good. And the great thing about this is that since it's a legendary, you won't have to use your heavy slot. So you can just easily throw this into basically any stasis build and have a pretty good time. Out of all the legendary glaives, this one definitely has to be my favorite. The Choke Clip just really carries this thing. Choke Clip again, just being the GOAT for the stasis weapons, making this even better. You're gonna constantly see Choke Clip being brought up with these weapons, but it's just such a strong thing that if you have a chance to actually get it on your weapon, you most likely are gonna be wanting to go for it. After that, we're going to have the Lost Signal, the area of the Nile Frame. This thing gives you tons of ad clear, tons of darkness transcendence energy if you're on prismatic, and overall, it's just a really good weapon. The area of the Nile Frames have just been fantastic, and this one being the only one in the kinetic slot since the stasis weapon, just basically makes it automatically just the best one in that slot. And it's also going to work pretty well with any build that involves stasis, and also use prismatic because of the crazy amount of darkness transcendence energy that it can make. It's just a really good weapon all around. And one of the best things is that it's also a craftable weapon, so all you gotta do is get some red borders from failsafe, and you can craft yourself the perfect Lost Signal. Now the next weapon I'm gonna talk about is the Stasis Scout Rifle, the Wicked Implement. I think this one's gonna work pretty well with a lot of stasis builds, specifically with the final mod, so whenever you get a precision kill, it essentially just freezes everything around it. This thing already has a lot of synergy with stasis, just being able to slow on freeze just by hitting precision hits. So adding that extra freeze on top of everything, I think it's gonna make the Wicked Implement even better. It also works really well with a lot of the stasis builds for getting frost armor, even while you're really far away from the enemies, because it makes a lot of stasis shards just by basically shooting things. By shooting stasis crystals, by shooting frozen enemies, you can make lots and lots of stasis shards, and if you have the right things on your build, they basically will just kind of float towards you. It is really good, and I think it's gonna make using this weapon a lot better. Even if it is a scout rifle, and I know scout rifles are also still not the best in PVE, I think this one's gonna be pretty nice. Maybe not for the end game stuff, but we'll definitely have to wait and see if the scout rifles get a bit more buffs. The next weapon is gonna be the Liturgy from episode 2, the Dual Fire Stasis Grenade Launcher. Now this one is gonna be really good, specifically because you can basically use it in two different ways. You could go for the damage rotation one that has MBS Arsenal and bait and switch, and basically just throw it in there with more bait and switch MBS Arsenal weapons to do some crazy damage and some crazy swaps. Or you can also use this one the way that I kind of been using it, which is basically as a chill clip plus a blind grenade launcher. Is really good for that as well, especially because you have slide ways on this thing, meaning that you can just constantly fire this thing as long as you keep sliding. You basically just slide all over the place, and you never really have to reload the weapon while constantly blinding and also applying chill clip on whatever you end up hitting. It's a really good weapon regardless of the way that you decide to go with this weapon, and I definitely recommend that you get a good one. Unfortunately, it is from episode 2, which I think is the worst out of the episodes, but I definitely think it's worth getting a good one. So if you can, get in there, get a good Liturgy for whatever you're planning on doing with it. If you're doing damage swaps, or use one that's a blinding choke clip machine, or maybe get both if you really want to, just to cover all your bases, because this one is going to be a fantastic weapon next season. The next weapon is one that I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't thought of in a while, is the Bergless Curve, the exotic Stasis Bow. Now this thing is amazing at making a ton of stasis crystals, so it has some really good synergy with stasis builds, but I think it's also going to work really well with that final mod, because bows are just really good at hitting precision hits. You're always going to be trying to get some precision hits with this bow to build up your stasis crystals, so when you're doing that, you're constantly going to be just freezing targets that you can just blow up with this bow and get even more crystals. I feel like this plus some of the seasonal mods is going to be amazing, and any like shatter build is going to be even better with this bow next season. Next, we still got to mention the chill clip fusions. They are still very good. They do take a little longer to actually proc that freeze, but you can constantly slow with these things, and as long as you have choke clip or any fusion, it's going to be pretty good. The really good thing about this one is that there's actually quite a lot of like choke clip fusions now. It's not just one, but the easiest one to get I think is still the Riptide. It's also the best one because it's a rapid fire frame, so you're able to put the slows and the freezes out there a little bit faster, and they can also do some pretty nice backup damage. For the most part, I feel like they're still pretty good. They have lost a bit of their popularity because of the rocket sidearm with choke clip. It just kind of does what they do, but even better. But if you missed out on your chance on getting the sidearm, then the choke clip fusion is also going pretty good. And we also gotta mention the exotic trace right for the Interceptor. This thing is gonna be amazing. It already freezes and slows things very effectively, but with all the mods that we're gonna have giving those more freezes and more frost armor, it's just gonna make overall the builds just better. It's gonna make it really nice, and I definitely think this is gonna be one of those weapons that people use a lot on their builds, especially if they're going for just a full-on freeze build. This is one that you're gonna see a lot. And the last weapon that I want to mention real quick is gonna be the Spectrum 4FR. This one is just a random drop whirl linear fusion that can throw with chill clip. This is gonna be a pretty good weapon that you can run in your heavy slot, especially in things like GMs. It already has chill clip, so you can stun unstoppables and overloads very easily, just built in. And with the mods, I think anything with chill clip is gonna be pretty good. You also want to keep in mind some of the stasis machine guns, since they can kill ads very effectively and very easy with some precision hits. It means that's really going to be able to take advantage of that mod that freezes things around whenever you hit precision kills. So legendary weapons like those, you definitely want to keep them in mind when it comes to this next upcoming season. But with that, we're going to end today's video. Those are the weapons I'm kind of excited to use next season in the Edge of Fate. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are going to be using for your stasis builds. Do you already have some weapons that you're looking forward to using? Or maybe you saw some of the weapons in the preview that you're looking forward to using. Make sure you let me know those in the comments below. Anyways, thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.